welcome to today's episode of the Balanced Approach podcast. I'm your host, Louis Padian. I hope that you're doing well and are enjoying the podcast and the topics we've covered so far. These podcasts are released every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so be sure to subscribe wherever you are listening to be kept up to date.
Around the importance of self-belief, and this was sort of sparked after reading some feedback from one of my clients, and she said this really powerful and quite common response I get, where she explained that when she told me her goals, I had full belief that she'd be able to achieve them, and at the time she wasn't 100% sure whether she could or not, and that gave her a huge amount of belief. And that's a big part of my role as a coach, but it's just something that I often see with people, that they don't back themselves enough. And this isn't just me saying you should back yourself. Actually, it's supported in a lot of the research that actually goes beyond just feeling good. Research has established a positive correlation between self-efficacy, which is the belief in your own abilities, and performance across various aspects: academics, athletics, and health behaviours, which is one that we want to focus on. So believing whether you can achieve it or not can actually result in you achieving it or not. A 2011 meta-analysis, I should say, highlighted this connection, suggesting that individuals with higher self-belief demonstrate superior performance compared to those with lower self-efficacy, which is lower self-belief. So just believing and backing yourself can make the difference in you being able to achieve and reach your goals long term. So a 2019 study in personality and social psychology found that individuals with higher self-belief display greater resilience in the face of setbacks as well, which is a common thing that we often see. It's never a smooth path, it's never a smooth road. There will be setbacks, there will be times when it gets really difficult, but having that self-belief allows you to handle those setbacks and those lessons along the way to achieve your goals a lot better. They found that people were better equipped to persevere through challenges, bounce back from failures, and maintain that growth mindset, which is crucial for long-term success and something that we really want to embed as we focus on getting healthier. And last of all, a research paper in 2018 found a positive association between self-belief and mental well-being, which is another aspect as well. People with higher self-belief reported experiencing lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, which are things that obviously we want to try and minimize. So believing yourself not only fuels your ability to achieve your goals, but also contributes to your overall emotional well-being as well. That's why it's so important, and it's one of the things that I often speak to people and focus on a lot with clients, is going, right, we can do this. Believe in yourself a little bit more. So a big part of this is embracing the nothing to lose mindset. So fear of failure often holds people back from backing themselves, essentially. However, it's crucial to consider that the biggest loss can often lie in not trying at all. And that's often the biggest regrets that people have, is not giving stuff a go. And by staying stagnant, you miss out on the potential opportunity to grow, valuable lessons learned through the experience, and the satisfaction of achieving what you want to achieve. So that's three big areas that really can eat away at people. And when I spoke to another client a while ago, I also said, there's nothing to lose in backing yourself 100%. You either prove yourself right by backing yourself, or you learn a lot along the way, and we end up better off than if we didn't back ourselves at all. So I think that's hugely important and a big mindset shift that can be really helpful on improving your health. It's really important to remember that every journey that anyone's ever been on with regards to health, well-being, anywhere in your life, it's just about taking that first positive step moving forward, setting small, realistic, achievable goals. We've done a lot on goal setting in previous episodes. If you're new here, if you haven't listened to those, I definitely recommend them. And that helps us build momentum, confidence, and competence. And what do I mean by that? Developing confidence with the skills that we're trying to develop, the habits, but also the competence of knowing how to do them as well. So it's building on those areas really helps. And I often speak to clients and we say tools in the toolbox, being more confident with them and competent. And that's where we want to be at the end of our journey together. We want to get to a position when you've got all these tools in your toolbox, you know which tool is best for which job, you're confident with them and you're competent with them as well. Make sure you're celebrating progress. Remember, no little steps should be overlooked. It's all progress and it should all be celebrated, because that fuels you and your self-belief, which obviously is really important, into carrying on and moving forward as well. So if you're trying to lose weight, celebrate and give yourself a pat on the back for that first half pound, that pound, because we're just going to repeat that process consistently. And if you're celebrating along the way, it really, really builds that momentum, which is another key phrase that we use a lot of time, building momentum. If you're going out, if you're trying to get more active and you're going to go out for a walk and you go out even just for a 5-minute walk, go, well, you know what, that's better than nothing. So if I can consistently get these 5-minute walks in, they're going to add up over a long period of time, and that's going to move me closer to where I want to be. Even if things didn't go as planned, seeing those setbacks as learning opportunities is hugely important. So instead of beating yourselves up and judging yourself and going, well, I knew other people were right that I wouldn't be able to achieve this, actually going, well, what have I learned from this opportunity, or what opportunities are there as learning opportunities are there? So if you are trying to lose weight and you've let yourself get too hungry throughout the day, so you've skipped breakfast because you think that you'll function better without it, and then by lunchtime you're starving, and then in the afternoon you're absolutely ravenous and you end up eating more calories than you aim for, or even going into a calorie surplus, instead of going, right, fuck it, there's no point, I know I wouldn't lose weight, actually sitting down with yourself and going, right, what lessons, what didn't quite go to plan there, and how could I do better next time? So maybe actually I need to manage my hunger throughout the day a bit better, rather than just trying to ride out on hunger as much as I can to the point where I break and my willpower is at its lowest, and I just go health level on all the tasty foods around me. And then another thing from that might be, actually maybe I need to build those tastier foods, we should say, that are really highly palatable, that are easy to overeat on, into my diet, so I'm not feeling deprived, which when I'm feeling hungry and if I'm feeling deprived, I'm more likely to reach those foods and overeat and have a more all or nothing relationship with them. And actually something that I do a lot with clients who are trying to improve their relationship with food and might have certain trigger foods that they don't feel they can control themselves around, that they feel are bad or naughty, we increase the exposure over time to those foods and actually build a more positive relationship with them. So like I said, reflecting on it, analysing what didn't go to plan or what went wrong, adapting, changing, learning, putting those lessons in place, and importantly, keep moving forward and try to put those lessons into good practice moving forward. And you know what? Next time, things probably won't go to plan again. But you know what? We'll probably have a better attempt and we'll learn more. And the more we learn, the more we can implement, the better we'll get long term. So a really good phrase that I found from a while ago was from Thomas Edison. He famously said, I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And that's what we're trying to do. When I work with clients from the get-go, really, it's a lot of feeling out for both of us, trying to feel out what sort of different things are going to work for them. We'll trial things, and if they're not working for them, we might go, you know what, that might not be for now, or it might not be for them really, or we might have to take a different approach to it. But you know what, there's different ways that we can work. There's lots of different ways we can approach losing weight, getting healthier, and we just need to find the right tools in the toolbox for you. So what can you do moving forward? There's 3 things that I thought were really important here. First of all was identify and leverage your strengths. Don't underestimate the power of self-awareness. Being self-aware is so important on this. And this, again, has to be underpinned by self-compassion. We're not there to beat ourselves up going, well, I'm rubbish at this, I'm rubbish at this, I'm rubbish at this. Focusing on actually what evidence is there that actually I'm good at certain things. Maybe you're really patient. Maybe you're really empathetic. Maybe you're really compassionate. Maybe you're really resilient and persistent, and picking out points in the past where you've shown those strengths, and we can go, actually, maybe it isn't a willpower when I'm losing weight and I struggle with these foods. Maybe it isn't a willpower problem because I've shown that I've got willpower and I'm resilient in other areas, so that's not matching up. So maybe I need to stop beating myself up about that, and instead looking at how we can make things work for you a bit better. So recognizing your strengths, what talents you have, looking at past successes as well. So when I sit down with someone and potentially we're having a look at changing their diet, they want to lose weight, I'll sit down and go, right, so what diets have you tried in the past? What has worked and what hasn't worked? And people might find certain approaches worked for them. So they found that having going to Slim World worked for them. Well, why did it work for you? Whilst I'm not a massive fan, it's worked for that person and they're telling me it's worked. So right, we can learn a lot from this because there's some things that we can take from there. Yes, there might be some things that we might need to adjust and tailor to make it a bit more healthful long term, but also there's a huge amount of proof there that they can succeed in certain areas. Yes, they might have got to a position where they lost loads of weight on that diet or Slim World and they've regained it, but they've had success, and we just need to focus on that maintenance part afterwards. So what worked for them? And that's a really, really powerful source, and making sure that, again, linking back to what we're mainly speaking about today, looking back at that past success can really, really help with that self-belief element as well. Next up, and this is a big thing I work on with clients as well, is challenging that negative self-talk. We all experience negative self-talk from time to time. It's a very natural thing. We are naturally quite pessimistic as humans are, but it's important to be aware of these thoughts and actively challenge them. So like I said, if things aren't going well today and you end up raiding the kitchen cupboard for all the chocolate in the world, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't start that negative, what I call like a whirlpool effect, where you start off going, oh, I failed at my diet today. Oh, well, I'll never succeed. And it gets worse and worse and more negative, and basically leads all the way to a point where you've judged yourself as a person going, you're useless, you're a terrible person, when actually all you've done is overeat a little bit. And there's things that we could have done to potentially improve the outcome, and actually has nothing to do with who you are as a person or your ability. It just is an outcome of one instance. But also challenging that negative self-talk. So before you even get there going, right, you've messed up on your diet today. Actually, is that the truth? Have I done really well in aspects? Is there things that I might change moving forward? Probably. But actually, what have I done well today? So whilst you might have overeaten your calories today, you might have got 2 portions of fruit and veg in today. Well, actually, it's not all black and white. It's not either awful or good. Actually, it's a big grey area in between. There's things that we can improve on, but also taking the positives moving forward and actually going, well, if I hadn't eaten those fruits, or if I hadn't had that protein at breakfast, maybe I would have eaten more. So actually, those things are maybe things that I should probably do more often, and have helped me manage the day a bit better than I expected. And again, those positive affirmations, those positive self-talk, looking back at the times that you've done really well, whether that's to do with what you're trying to achieve at the time, so whether it is being more active, losing weight, going to the gym, those sorts of things, but also having a look at other areas that you've done really well, and not placing all your value on this current negative experience or this area where you're trying to improve and not succeeding at the moment. Instead, look at it holistically, take a step back and go, actually, trying to lose weight at the moment, but actually I've got all these other stress, work's really stressful, I'm not really sleeping very well. So actually it's making that really hard. So maybe I need to cut myself some slack and not put so much pressure on myself to do it. Maybe I'm more resilient, more capable because I'm actually handling that well at the moment. And again, reminding yourself of the capabilities and past achievements can be really helpful in developing that self-belief, which we know is so important. Last but definitely not least, is surround yourself with a supportive network, seeking out friends, family, mentors, coaches who believe in you and your potential. It's really, really difficult to be in an environment where people aren't supportive, and actually in the UK especially, we aren't very overtly supportive of people, and it's really, really can be really empowering and really enlightening and encouraging for people if we're there going, you know what, I believe in you, you're doing super well. And we're definitely moving that direction of society. But again, having people around you that, and this is why certain communities, like SlimWorld, again, I'm not a massive fan of it, but there's certain aspects of it that they do really well. Community is a big part of that, and people congratulating each other. Fitness groups like CrossFit or small exercise groups and things, or running clubs, people are really supportive which are in achieving the goals. Yes, there's a healthy competition in a lot of those elements, but being a part of a community where people are happy to see you achieve can be so important. And we've spoken about community in previous episodes, and finding your vibe, finding your tribe, finding a group that you have similar values with and have certain habits or behaviors or social norms or what they sort of seem as normal in that community that you aspire to be, can be a really, really helpful part as well. So remembering being part of a supportive group, their encouragement and positive reinforcement can really significantly boost your self-belief and really, really boost your overall health and well-being journey as well.
So there you have it. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode of the Balanced Approach podcast. If you have any questions, queries, or would like to reach out to me, please do. I am at Louis Padian Nutrition, which is at LOUISPADIAN Nutrition on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all other social media platforms. If you're looking for support in achieving your goals and living a healthier, happier, and more balanced life in the process, click the link below and inquire about working with me. Remember to subscribe to the Balanced Approach podcast wherever you're listening for more insightful episodes, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.